Raise both hands if you can hear. Okay, welcome everyone. A couple of little announcements. There will be another course after this one. This is the number 7 out of 10. So there'll be 3 more and then a break for 1 week, and then there'll be another course starting April 9th through May 28th, 8 weeks. And that'll be it for me teaching here probably until the fall. And you can see more about that once Doug puts it on the website. It'll be different from this one. And the other one is we are having our half day of Dharma and Qigong, our half day retreat here on May the 15th, which is a Saturday, from 10 until 2, followed by, if you want, lunch at the little restaurant next door. They're very sweet. So those are my announcements. Okay. What did I say? May? Oh, no, not May. March. It's coming up. It's like less than 2 weeks. Thank you. Okay. So part of this is to adjust a little bit our notion of relaxation. And our culture tells us that relaxation is lying in a chaise lounge on the beach with a drink, pretty much, or in your lazy boy with a beer and the Packers. And those are relaxing things. We can also relax when we're standing. And this kind of runs counter to our training in this society. So is to just find a way to stand where you can be simultaneously relaxed. That is, the muscles are relaxed, the joints are relaxed, and yet we're upright and vertical and energized. And it's very doable. And then when we practice this a little bit, we can stand comfortably. We can even stand in a way that's relaxing. Okay. So the first element that we explored many weeks ago was earth, which is heavy. It's the body. It's physicality. It's the planet. It's gravity. And it's very stable, like a mountain. And it's very useful to be a mountain sometimes. Very useful, particularly if the weather is stormy, either literally or figuratively, to be a mountain. And to be a mountain, we go to the body, because the body is the earth. It's just in this particular form rather than a tree or something else. It's this form, but it's still the earth. And then we moved into water. And so where the earth is strong and stable and deep, the water is flowing. Movement, impermanence. And water is a metaphor for chi, for life force energy, which is able to fill any container. And the container that it's filled, that we're most concerned about, is this body, mind, is filled with chi, with life force energy. And then the next one was heat or fire. And warmth is a sign of life. We have to have warmth to have life, and it's a higher level. It's in the heart, and it's a sign of love. And we experience warmth first in the womb, where we're completely warm and protected and in the water. And that actually carries through our whole lives. We associate warmth with relationships and with love. And then we did air, which is more diffuse. So we're sort of rising up: earth, water, fire, air. Air is up here, here. And the air is very relational, because we're breathing the same air that our ancestors breathed and that all life forms that breathe air are breathing. So air is very light and very relational. And last time we did space, and it doesn't mean outer space, doesn't mean the blackness at night. It means emptiness. It means sort of what's in this room. Space, of course, I know it's air, but there's space, there's a quality of space. And the quality of space is experienced in the body and the mind, very much in the mind, to develop a spacious mind. And this one, the sixth element, is finer still, and it's consciousness. And the point of these Qigong classes is to be able to experience the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, through the body. Okay. And so consciousness is the finest and the most embracing. And it includes all of the previous ones. Okay. So when we take this posture, this relaxed, alert posture, we can focus our attention on the sensations in the body, the fact that there's a body here and how it feels. We can focus our attention on the breath, the movement in the body, and the contact of the air on in the nose, nasal passages, lungs, and so on. And we can focus our attention on our mind. And we can do that passively by just noticing the condition, the quality of the mind, the mood of the mind. And we can also do it actively through visualization or imagination. So when we stand in this posture, our attention moves from body. We feel the body. We make sure that we're in alignment. They're equally weighted. We can definitely feel the body. And then we move our attention to the breath. Feel the breath moving through the body. We can sense the heat, and we can sense perhaps the tingling, which is a sign of qi, in the fingers, in the hands, in the face. And we can engage the mind, particularly if it's wandering, can engage the mind with the visualization that goes with this posture, which is there's a beam of light from the center of the earth that comes up like a column and contains the whole body and goes up infinitely up into the night sky. And so this is how we arrange our posture. We bring this vertical light, this to mind in the body, and the body is alive within this this column of light that connects what the ancients called heaven and earth. And so the body is the connection between heaven and earth, and the place in which the yin of earth and the yang of heaven are in constant movement and interaction. So body, breath, and mind, the visualization, and we can remain in this posture. And so this is all focusing our consciousness. And in Taoist teaching, the consciousness is non-local. That is, this column is conscious, the earth is conscious, and the universe is conscious. And the human is a mixture of those consciousnesses. And we know that it's here because we can move our attention with it. Okay. Okay, very good. Very good. And now we'll go through, my teacher, Tricia Yu, developed a very accurate way to sense this consciousness. So first, let's spread our arms a little bit and go into standing mountain. And here we're pointing down. And wherever we're pointing, our consciousness is being directed where we're pointing. So our consciousness is going down, and it's with the out-breath. It focuses mostly on the out-breath. So we're noticing the body, the movement of the body with the breath, and our attention we can visualize as light going down into the ground. So we're conscious of the earth, conscious of the body, conscious of the breath, and also aware that we're conscious of all this. Okay, okay, very good. And in this position, we contemplate that the body is not only connected to the earth, but is the earth. Every atom, molecule, and cell in the body comes from this earth and is now impermanently part of this body and will be returning to the earth. And that the earth is in motion around the sun, and the sun is one of millions of stars moving in the galaxy. And the galaxy is one of hundreds of billions of galaxies. And in this posture, we are connected to it all. And we feel that connection. That's our consciousness. Okay, very good. Then dipping the knees, bend the elbows. And so we're embracing now the lower dantian, the embracing the womb of life. So a female body will have the womb of life within it. A male body focuses on the umbilical connection to the female, to the mother, the grandmother, the great-grandmother, the great-great-grandmother, and all the way back through evolutionary time and to the origins of life on this planet. And we are each links in this chain of life. And let the hands move with the breath. As the belly expands, let the hands move away a little. And the consciousness in the lower dantian can be visualized and felt as this ball of warm light that the hands are resting on. There's the presence of our ancestors in our body. And the uninterrupted stream of consciousness that has flowed through them into this being in this present moment. Okay, very good. And dipping the knees again, coming up to the middle dantian, the heart area. And again, feeling the balloon-like quality of the breath. And in this posture, we recognize that we are connected to all beings, that in this very moment, people are laughing and crying, being born and dying, experiencing tragedy and miracle, and we are connected to it all through the heart. This consciousness not separate from all other consciousness. And consciousness manifesting in all these different forms. Very good. Dipping the knees again. The hands rise up, palms face the body. We feel the hands rise up. Watch them go up. Extend, and now we're embracing this column of light that we've imagined, which is the continuation of consciousness in this earth and heaven human system. And looking up, we feel and imagine that we're holding this ball of warm light between the hands. Wu Ji, the oneness. And now with the next out breath, separate the hands slowly. We're opening this ball of white light into a rainbow of all colors and embracing the manifest realm, the diversity and the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows. And in this posture, we are accepting that we are one with all of this. So there's a rainbow between the palms. There's this vertical column of light extending infinitely up, down into the earth. There's the warm ball of light in the belly, another one in the chest, another one in the brain, one above. So we're creating these visualizations and receiving them. Very good. Dipping the knees. Now we fold this fan back up, embrace the column of light again, look up. And then with the next out breath, we're going to bring the hands down, palms facing the body, and filling the body, every cell, with the light of the stars. Imagining it and feeling it. What does it feel like to be filled with the light of the stars? Every cell. all the way down. And when you're finished, then just return to the standing posture. And just notice. A good part of this practice is just noticing. How does the body feel? How's the breath? How is the mind? And that which is noting all of this is consciousness. Okay, very good. All right. Oh, and just go ahead, you can break your stance a little bit, loosen up. All right, so let's move on to the backwash and 3 tree and spring. So we'll bring our attention to the crown of the head. And then with the out breath, tuck the chin, let the shoulders roll forward. And now we're going to bring our attention, our consciousness to our spine, starting at the top. As it opens, 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 all the way down. Bend the knees, sort of sit down. And then if you can, touch the ground. You can twist a little bit and just enjoy the openness of the spine. Okay, very good. Let's slowly start back up. Bringing the attention up the spine. When it comes up to the neck area, then the hands begin. We point to the body. Continue breathing normally. And then point up, stretch a little, extend your attention up, 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 up. Good, good. And then all around, connected to all that is. Sit down. Tree and spring. The buds on the maples are swelling. Stand. Extend out all around 360. Good, good, good. 2, one more. Connecting heaven and earth. Connecting with all that is. One with the earth. And then let's repeat the backwash. Our consciousness is moving down the spine. Go back up. So at your own pace, you get to the top, smile just a little bit. And then out breath. Very good. All right. And then just opening up the neck, just roll your head around a little bit. Stretch out the neck and let it move down to the shoulders. So we're aware of the body, standing and moving, and we're aware of the breath, and we're aware of the mind, if it's still or active. And one more level, we're aware. We're viewing ourselves from outside, from above. We're aware that we're doing all of this, and we're conscious of it. There's this sort of bigness. That's the consciousness. Consciousness doesn't have a boundary. Okay, very good. All right, and then moving down. So let's, with the breath, so open the heart. So with your breath, either in breath or out breath. So as we open up, our attention moves out beyond the body, all around. And as we close up, our attention goes into the heart, into the torso. Expand beyond the body, and then come back and concentrate into the body. Okay, very good. All right, and moving down, let's flex the hips. So you can place a hand on the lower dantian, another one behind, and just tilt the pelvis. Or if you don't need the hands, just tilt the pelvis and sort of loosening up the lower back. Remember the vertical column, the posture. Okay, very good. Now we're going to circle the hips. And this involves the thighs, the legs. And then the other way. Okay, very good. All right. And now playing the piano, drop the elbows, wrists are loose. And check the weight on the feet, 50-50. So we're going to shift onto one side, bend that knee a little, and drop into that weighted side, letting the other heel come up. And if you want to, you can lift that, or just leave the toe on the ground. That's fine too. We want to have balance, good balance. And then touch and then shift the other way, sink down, lift the heel. Good. Touch down, shift again. It's a Tai Chi posture. Okay. Okay, very good. All right, let's move into everybody has personal space. You know, when someone gets in your space, you feel it, right? I did this with guys in prison. I'd have a man stand there and say, "Stop me when I get too close." And I did not get very close. They're threatened, you know, I'm 10 feet away, stop, right? Some people you can walk right up to them and they're comfortable. Some people you can hug them if you know them well, maybe. But there is this sense of a boundary, okay, and everyone feels it. And there's a real thing about radiating heat. We're radiating heat and electromagnetic energy. That's how the phone works when you, it's this electromagnetic energy. So we are radiant, we're radiating. And the ancients said we also radiate chi. You know, people will have maybe a sense of calmness about them, or a sense of delight, or a sense of don't get near me. You know, there's all of these qualities that we radiate. It's very subtle ones and very clear ones. So we do inhabit the space around the body. So let's just go ahead and instead of always having our consciousness just right in here. So we're also here and we're here. And we're sort of inhabiting this area around the body. It becomes an extension of our senses. Okay. We did this last time. This was the space. So there's this space around the body. Okay, and let's hold this at wave hands through clouds. Okay. Now we're going to move the lower hand. So wind up the opposite way and send it out. Good. Come back. Wind up. Send it out. Good. This is our space. Good. It's called diagonal flying in Tai Chi. Tai Chi and martial arts is very much about sensing the space around your body and around another person's body. Yeah, good. Right. Very good. Very good. Good. And now let's turning the body to look at the moon. So we're going to start. So we're going to lift the right shoulder and then lift the left shoulder. Turn, lift, turn. Good. So we're kind of making a circle with the shoulder. Good. And now it gets bigger. And the hands are still connected. Yeah. I've seen little kids doing this. It's just joyous. Okay. And we're turning the body. And let's just pause in one of these upward ones. You're turning the body, and there's the full moon. Looking at the full moon. And then down. So in the full moon, in the Zen poets, the full moon is awakened mind. So we're gazing at the awakened mind. Okay. Good. All right. And reduce the movement. Can you sense this area around the body? Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and take our seat. So first focusing on the in-breath in this body. And the breath moves the body. The breath is happening by itself. And aware that in this moment, 6 babies are taking their first in-breath. Babies in Canada, in China, in New Zealand, in France, little tiny babies, boy babies, girl babies. They're taking their very first breath. Every second. And when we breathe in, for a moment, we're one with the force of birth. Welcome to all the babies. Thank you for joining us. Not just human babies, but animal babies, foxes, beetles, fish. Take their first breath. One with the life force energy that we call birth. And this force of birth moves through us with every in-breath. Our very first action in this lifetime was to breathe in. Every in-breath gives us new life. Focusing on the out-breath. The out-breath which moves through us. And aware that with this breath, 4 human beings are breathing out their last breath. people who are old, people who are young, people who are ill, people who are well, people in Italy, in Japan, Colombia. 4 people breathing out their last breath. And as we breathe out, we're in harmony with the life force energy of death, of letting go. Breathing in and breathing out with consciousness, we're aware of the life force energy constantly moving through this world. We are one with it. Hey, very good. And now focusing our attention on the space at the end of the out-breath. See if you can elongate that space a little bit. And be at one with no birth and no death. No in-breath, no out-breath. Just resting in that space at the end of the out-breath before the next in-breath comes in. And in that space, notice the body and notice the quality of the mind. In this space at the end of the out-breath, the mind becomes still. And that which is aware of the still mind is consciousness. This consciousness was here long before we were born. It is in all beings and will be here long after we're gone. Resting at the end of the out-breath, we let go into the space beyond birth and death. That which is aware of this space is none other than universal consciousness. So we can Focus our consciousness on the posture of the body. Is it upright? Is it balanced? We can focus on the quality of the breath, feeling the movement in the body. We can focus on the quality of the mind, mood. We can focus on the vertical column of light from the center of the earth, filling every cell of the body up into the universe. This column of light, which is conscious. We can fully inhabit this continuum of consciousness, breathing in through the bottoms of the feet up to the heart, breathing out from the heart up to the crown of the head, and breathing out up into the universe, breathing in, coming back down through the crown of the head into the brain, breathing out down to the heart, breathing out down through the feet. Just continue on your own, visualizing the light moving through this column. With the breath. Very good. And with the next breath, pretend there's a waterfall of light coming down from above, moving right through the body, out the feet. And then repeat. This is the flow of Qi, of life force energy, moving through this body and mind. Very good. Now, with every waterfall, big waterfall, there's mist that rises from the bottom. Let that mist rise up and fill every cell in the body with this mist of light. Every cell in the body is alive and glowing. And finally, we can radiate this out with the breath beyond the physical body into the space around the body. And the last one is to move the consciousness from this sitting body into the space around the body. So we can view and feel the body in the midst of this expanded light. And we're aware of the sitting physical body, we're aware of the breath, and we're aware of the space around the body. And we can view this whole process from somewhere beyond it. This might cause a slight smile. Just in this moment, we're completely supported and completely connected. How does this feel? Very good. Let's take a few more breaths. And as you're ready, we can start with the wiggling of the toes. Subtle movements of the hands. And then just slowly just come completely back. Not that we ever left, but just completely and gently return. Very good. So the next practice is removing the glasses. And then all together, we'll clap one time. Ready? 1, 2, make heat. And go ahead and massage the muscles in your face, eyes, temples, jaw, forehead, whatever seems right. Good. And make loose fists. Tap your kidneys. And then massage your kidneys. Thank you for your practice, and may our practice benefit all beings. Beings that are old and young, tall and short, known and unknown, seen and unseen. May all beings be free. So you can see, you can feel that moving into these expanded states of awareness is very doable. It's really not mysterious. I mean, the ancient people have mapped this out, and there are many ways to do it. This is one way. And it's very good because it liberates us from the confines of this really oppressive space-time continuum that we're in, where we have to pay mortgages and get braces for the kids and walk the dog and drive our car and do all these things that cause us stress. So it's a great relief from that, isn't it? I mean, it's a really good kind of vacation in a way. The rest of the practice is to bring this awareness into our moment-to-moment life and into our relationship with the cashier at the food store and with the stranger on the street and with our loved ones, is to be able to bring this with the breath, just bring this expanded awareness into this tense world. That's why we're here. And that really is the practice. Okay. So, any questions or comments? Thank you all on Zoom for being here. And thank you all in person for showing up. It's so wonderful to practice with other people. Any questions or comments you can ask now, or if you want to stay, I'll stay here for another 15 or 20 minutes if anybody wants to speak. Nobody wants to talk.
So is this, whose consciousness is this? Is this my consciousness? And when did I get this?
When you take a breath, is it your breath? Oh, everyone else is doing it. There's a koan. How can we breathe in and out at the same time? And the answer is, we're doing it right now because it's not just me, it's all of us who are breathing, right? So it's the paradox in Buddhism is yes, it's both. You are definitely a separate person with a social security number and a birth date and a history, and absolutely, and you need to take care of yourself, and you have the capacity to act in the world. You have agency, absolutely. And at the same time, you're not separate. We're not separate. And it's easy to forget that. That's all. Both are true. It's not either or. Anybody else want to speak to that? That's the question.
And there, you know, so a little baby isn't conscious, is it?
Well, I don't want to get into a debate about what's conscious and not. Typically,
When does that? Felt, and I can hear you and understand you and practice with you.
So have you ever looked in the mirror and been really surprised? Like all the time? Like, who is that old guy? You know, how did this happen? You know, the part of us that's really surprised is timeless. It doesn't know from aging. The consciousness I had when I was 5 years old playing in the sandbox, it's looking in the mirror. It's looking through these eyes. It was long before I was here and long after I'm gone. But at the same time, it's mine. Right? I do this all the time. Or I look at someone I love and say, oh man, how did this happen? You know? Surprising. Isn't it? Mysterious. Wonderful, actually. Anybody else? Comments or questions? Yeah.
So how can you distinguish between consciousness and being present, mindfully present?
Yeah. So for the purposes of this class, I'm intermingling those two things. I mean, in classic Buddhism, they're different. Mindfulness is a different thing from consciousness. But in this class, I'm not gonna, and it doesn't really matter. You know, mindfulness requires an object. Okay, Thich Nhat Hanh teaches this. You're mindful of something. Okay, so you're mindful of the breath. You're mindful of washing the dishes. You're mindful of opening the door. You're mindful of something. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, so, and that's useful, to be present, to be mindful, extremely useful, right? At the same time, it separates the subject from the object. I am mindful of that. Okay. And so, in a sense, it reinforces my separateness. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so consciousness is a little bigger than that, just in the way this is being. Okay, I don't want to get too into the, I don't want to muddy the waters, but it is mindfulness of something. Okay, so oneness is beyond mindfulness. It's actually a letting go of all that. There's no subject and object. Maybe this is too esoteric. I apologize if it is, but you asked me. This is Dharma too. This isn't really Qigong. This isn't really Taoist, I don't think. Maybe there's a scholar, Taoist scholar here who disagree with me, but this is very much Buddhist teaching.
I would say that it does resonate with what's in the Tao Te Ching.
It does resonate. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I feel that way. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, curious. But, in mindfulness, you're creating space, like there's a space between the object and yourself, spaciousness.
Mm.
And with the consciousness, what's happening to the space? Getting bigger? Is it like,
In terms of space, it would be, yeah. And I don't want to get into what psychologists call dissociation, where someone separates from their body. That's not what this is. This is liberating ourselves from attachment to a view. We all have views, constantly, all the time we have views. And so the spaciousness is a softening of our attachment to the way it is. It's like, well, maybe it's not like that. I mean, most of us really like to be right, and it's really important to be right. And if we're wrong, we feel bad about it. But this is like, well, maybe I'm not always right. Maybe we put a little space around that, and so then the consciousness is expanded a bit from this grasping. Does that make sense? At least that's one of my issues, and you can feel it in your body. When we're rigid, when we know what's right and we're stubborn and we have a view and this is the way it is, you can feel it, and you can feel it in the other person, and that's not spaciousness. And so to say, well, okay, that's my view. Someone else has a view. Maybe can I make space for that view? So requires space. Always a challenge. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for showing up.